Hi there, this is David from Expendables Modding, also known as, well, the nickname that you can see right down there. And I have decided to create this Farming Simulator 19 modding series. Why? Well, I have time. This pandemia virus thing keeps us all safe at home. And since Farm Sim 21 is not gonna happen, so I think I have time enough to create this series, and based on your response, guys, I will I will continue doing them, or I will discard the idea. So what I'm going to try to cover in this series is, of course, some basics, to review also the environment we are working with or playing with, the requirements that we have, requirements understood not as your computer requirements. I'm not going to cover that. I'm not going to go into that fight. It's your business. Do not ask me. Well, I can answer what do I use, but I'm not gonna go into if your computer is good or not, or it's better, or you have to get a pre-build or build it yourself. That's none of my business, and I'm not gonna get into that fight. Then I'm gonna do a basic editing of a mod. Um, Hopefully, I will be able to create a post in the group and allow you guys to choose what I'm going to edit, uh, especially these kind of things. I'm not gonna go into maps or placeables. I can consider placeables, but hopefully trucks. That's mostly what we do. And in the end, also based on the community, I'm gonna try to create a mod from scratch, like from the ground, taking a model and making it happen from scratch to the game. And of course, it's gonna be released for you all for free. Done. So then the basics, or what do I understand as the basics? There are some principles I would like to touch base first. So there are some concepts, some basic concepts that you must know and learn, and that I'm going to try to cover in this series. Why it's important? No, that it happened to you or to a friend of yours. You try to change a tire in a mod, and then you do everything. Then you're following a tutorial in YouTube to do that, and you might end up with the YouTuber saying something that you don't know. Udim shaders. And then you have to stop and say, "Hey, whoa, hold on. What's this guy talking about?" I'm going to try to avoid that. I'm going to set up some basics for you to start building your modding skills. That your base, your basic knowledge is solid, strong. Then I'd like to say that modding is not difficult. It just takes time. Of course, people like Creative Mesh or Realism Modding, these guys are another league. These guys are not me. I'm not this kind of modder. I create trucks. I like how they look and I create them. But I'm not these kind of people. And I don't think these kind of people are gonna create tutorials and how they work because, well, they make money on that. So obviously they're not gonna share it. Oh, that's my opinion. But again, uh, my modding skills are what they are. I am not a top modder or this kind of stuff. We use a lot of common knowledge in the group. Anthony, Ben, Derek, Hunter, Brian, we are all there for the others and we help each other with stuff. Then I'd like to say that, especially at the beginning, the time that you might invest in modding might be frustrating. But I've discovered it is frustrating because a lot of times you do something, you think you're ready for the game, then you go in game and it doesn't work. Then you have to go backwards, investigate what you did wrong, and then go back into the game and to discover that you might have done something wrong again and then go back and forward. But I'm going to try to achieve is to set up some basics to avoid this rollback action and to try to minimize this frustrating process as much as possible. Last but not least, community is there to help, of course. I'm there to help. I've helped a lot of people that is coming to me, asking for something, asking for help. I've even uh, worked with some people in a private thing because I wanted to. And because I've seen that these people have done an effort, they've tried, they've ended up with a problem, but they've tried. If you just go into the group and say, I want something to do that for me, no, don't do that. That ain't gonna work. No one is gonna help you, and probably you'll get booted. So if you want to do something, try it. Try it. I'm going through this series for you to try it. So please do it. In order to start modding, or well, actually for anything you want to do in your life, but in this case, modding, you have to know where you're going. What are you going to do? What do you need? If you start trying to do something without a basic, you might end up doing it, but it's gonna take a lot of time and a lot of frustration into it. So I'd like to set up a basic workflow. A lot of people might not agree with that. Actually, I don't care. You don't like it, don't watch this. But uh, it works for me. So we might set that there is a first step on a visual stuff. Then there is an in-game stuff to do, visual stuff to do, that we might say is the 3D game version of the model that we created. You can see in the pictures that on the left is the K30, the last one that I've released. It doesn't look okay. It looks yellow and greenish and red and blue. But when it goes into the game, you can see in the center picture that it looks good. There is light, there is reflection, there is materials on it. That concept, we're gonna review it, of course. There is a lot of work in between the two pictures, to be honest. A lot of work between the two of them. But I've done it. So if I did it, you can do it. In the end, we need to tell the game how our truck is working. Where are the lights? Is there wheels? How many? Where are they? Do they rotate left, right? Which ones are going to turn? Are they wide, thin, street wheels, mud wheels, off-road wheels? These kind of stuff. It's not going to happen in the visual. You need to tell the game how your visuals are working. Where is your driver? Where are their hands? Is there mirrors there? These kind of stuff are mostly done in the coding. We have in the Expendables the master of coding. I gave him a name, the script man. He's awesome coding. I've learned a lot from him, and he's very good coding. I can do visuals. I can in-game those visuals and make them look perfect. But Anthony Broke, this scriptman, is awesome at coding, so recommend to check on his work. He's awesome, and he helped me like countless times. If we take the first step into what the 3D visuals mean, or what we need to understand that, we're gonna need a 3D editor to edit our mod, our meshes, our shapes, the forms there. We need to a 3D editor to make them work. The market is full of them. We have Maya that you can get for free 3 years. I don't know Maya. There is 3D Studio Max that is also a paid one. And one that it's free and available for everyone is Blender. It's not easy. Concepts and printables in Blender are kind of different than the other 3D softwares. But since when I started, that's a hobby, and I said free is the best. So I decided to start using Blender. And now I know Blender. maybe 20% of what the software can do, but it works for me. Important to say that the version that I'm using in Blender is 2.79b. Why? I like it. Feel free to go to 2.8 or whatever you want. Use 2.79b. It's the one I learned. The exporter in 2.79 works better than in 2.8. Oh, the exporter, I said. You don't know what it is. Well, we'll see it later. But in order to pass from the 3D visuals to the in-game visuals, we need a translator. That's called the Giants exporter. We'll review that later deeply, don't worry. And we are gonna need a graphic editor. We use that to tweak the texture files within a mod and or even to create the decals and this stuff. Okay. Again, market's full of them. Photoshop, CorelDRAW, the freest one is Paint.net. I use it a lot, and I also decided to pay for Substance Painter. It helps a lot to create wear and dirt. But again, paid doesn't mean easy. Paid is because it's powerful, and when you invest the required amount of time onto learning what's texturing and the principles of texturing, its results are stunning. But you need to invest time into it. The central part of the flow was the in-game visuals. It's used to edit and modify the visuals and other stuff such references, materials, famous shaders in it's going to interface our standard 3D model into an in-game 3D model. It works for maps, trucks, placeables. We are going to focus on trucks. Finally, we've said that we have the in-game behavior. We're going to use a text editor to code how our mod is going to be recognized by the in-game engine. We need to write down how things are going to happen, how the tire works, how many configurations do we have in the truck. It's important to understand that visuals are there for our eyes, but references and coding, it's what it's gonna work inside the game. We can have a door, we can have the wipes, we can have the tailgate, but if we don't script and write down where is the tailgate, how it is oriented, and how does it moves, nothing's gonna happen. Or we can code it wrong and we can make a mirror work like the tailgate and it was going to be weird, but it's coding what matters. So making the long story short, in order to mod, we need a visual element to work with. For example, a model of a truck. There is a lot of places you can buy them, you can trade them, you can give them for free, whatever. We'll see that later. Then we're gonna need a 3D editor to prepare this model for the game engine. We're gonna need a 3D editor that uses the game engine to prepare our visuals for the game. We have, remember, the yellow model and the nice looking model. That work is done in the 3D editor. And in the end, a text editor to write down and let the game know how our mod is going to work. With these steps, we're going to review them, of course, deeply, but basically, that's the principle, that's the basics that you must understand. Hopefully you enjoyed this first video. If it creates enough interest, I'm going to continue working on them, and hopefully we'll see you later on. Have a nice one and take care, guys.